please.
Hey, Frank. Good to see you. Just wondering what the update on Anthony Davis might be after whatever it's been, 15 hours or so, and how he's feeling and what the prognosis could be looking for the rest of the series.
Yeah, he had an MRI and confirmed a strained groin, and he'll be listed as questionable, but he's literally day to day. We're going to see how he feels tomorrow. We're going to treat it, overnight. Do everything we can to get
recording in progress,
and we'll see where he's at tomorrow.
Okay, Dan Woike, please.
Hey, Frank. Good to see you as well. I don't want to let Bill be the only one happy to see you. How close was KCP to being able to go yesterday? And then I guess kind of related to all of this, if AD is unable to play, you got so much of your offense has been created kind of just by his and LeBron's dominance at times, and Dennis, I suppose, too. Do you have to reimagine the way to score, I guess, if Anthony's not available?
First question, KCP was close. It felt good shooting the basketball pregame, but did not have a great deal of comfort, or had discomfort, I should say, changing directions. So he was not able to go. We're hopeful he plays Tuesday. But again, we'll see how he's feeling, today and tomorrow. And then, certainly our identity shifts if Anthony's not in there. But it's not unprecedented for us. We played a large chunk of our season without him. And, hopefully we can draw on some of those experiences to see how we have to shift.
Okay, we will go with Mark Medina, please.
Hey, Frank, good to see you as well. I was wondering what jumped out to you this season and last with how Anthony has handled any possible frustration with, numerous injuries coming up, and also his determination to try to, make the best of those circumstances and play through some of them.
Yeah, I mean, every great competitor is going to be frustrated if they can't be in there. But I think he's shown an incredible amount of toughness the last 2 years playing through injury, and we saw that the other night when his knee wasn't feeling all that great. And, he said he's going to be out there no matter what. I just think that's who he is. He's a tough competitor that's going to play through stuff.
Okay, Kyle Goodham, please.
Hey, Frank, apologize for the noise. You guys had a 4-game winning streak coming out of the All-Star break, where, you guys were very successful with, just LeBron as the main guy. What is that a part of the season you look back to, a stretch where you think if we have to go without AD tomorrow, we can look back and see what we did here?
Yeah, for sure. Like I just mentioned, we did play a stretch of our season without Anthony. Not just during that 4-game stretch, but the entire stretch where Anthony was out. And, a lot of lessons that we learned during that stretch. Hopefully we can draw on those experiences if we have to play without him.
Okay, Jovan, please.
Hey, Frank. I know I've asked you about the LeBron on-off stuff multiple times this season, but in the playoffs right now, it's plus 37 with him off, minus 33 with him, or plus 37 with him on, minus 33 with him off. Is there a sentiment that if AD can't go, LeBron might just have to play 40 plus minutes, and you treat it like a game 7 where you just have to play him to his max, or kind of how do you view that with how much you guys have struggled when he's been off the floor, and then now AD won't be on as well?
Well, the first thing is, we have to win the minutes when he's off. That's the first thing. And, there's a lot of things that we look into, to try to create the right environment for those guys to succeed. And, in terms of the minutes, we're going to do whatever we need to do to win this game. That's the simplest way to put it. If he plays 48 minutes, he's not going to be fresh at crunch time. You know what I mean? Where we need him fresh at crunch time. So, we'll manage it accordingly, and, we'll do everything possible to win this game.
Okay, we'll do a few more here. We'll go with Alan Sliwa, please.
Hey, Coach. Obviously, AD on both sides of the ball. Just out of curiosity for tomorrow's game specifically, is it more of a challenge if Anthony Davis is not 100% or he's not there? Offensively, defensively, which, because he's able to do both, I guess, what to you becomes more of the challenge?
I would say it's a tie. He's one of those players that dominates both sides of the ball. So we're going to miss his scoring and everything he brings to the table offensively. But what he is defensively is equally going to be missed with his rim protections, his ability to guard on the perimeter, everything he does defensively. So we'll definitely miss him on both sides of the ball if he does not play.
Okay, last two. Go with Harris and Vogel, please.
Hey, Frank, there are a couple of clips going around on social media today of Suns players kind of giving, I guess, some extra contact after fouls were called or after uncalled fouls. I was just wondering, is that, you talked last year about taking things through the official channels if you had any problems with the officiating or anything like that. I'm not expecting you to blast the refs, but is that something that you bring up in those kind of post-game, things that you send off to the league?
Yeah, I mean, we send things off to the league every game all year, but I'm not going to get into the nature of, what those communications have looked like in this series.
Okay, and last question, we're going to go with, I'm sorry, Brian, I didn't see you there. Let's see if we can do the last two. We'll go with Jordan Richard and then Brian Kamenetsky. We'll start with Jordan.
Hey, Coach. Just wanted to ask you a little bit about Marc Gasol. You used him a lot at the end of the fourth. I could see it brings a lot with your spacing, especially with posting up LeBron. Just wanted to get your insight on that with spacing.
Yeah, that's what he brings. That's why we signed him, to give us a different dynamic, somebody that can, we want to have the balance of having sort of a role threat or somebody that's effective in a dunker like Trez and Drum are, and also have a big that can space the floor. And, obviously Marc did a great job the other night. That's what he brings to the table is the ability to pull DeAndre away from the basket and then create space. So, both of those guys can be effective and have been effective in this series, with Drum's lob threat and rolling to the basket and Marc's ability to space the floor. Both of those guys bring something a little bit different.
Okay, and I lied. We're going to have two last questions. We're going to go with Brian Kamenetsky and then Dave McMenamin. So, Brian, go ahead.
Well, thanks, Allie. Frank, you mentioned, obviously, you have some tape you can go back and look at. They have tape of you guys playing without Anthony that you can go back and look at should it be necessary. Well, what's potentially different about, about sort of such a drastic potential change in the way that both, that you guys would play in a playoff series, because there is so much preparation, so much film work that goes into it. When something like this happens, how does that impact, sort of the preparation and the way you can use film and all that stuff?
It's really like every other game. You look at everything you expect to see, and you look at all your personnel and the ways you would use the guys you have available. You know what I mean? And it all falls into the bucket of studying the game and preparing for battle. And, whether there's a drastic change in personnel or if there's a drastic change in scheme or lineups that you're facing, you just study the game and you prepare your team for what you expect to see.
All right, and last but not least, Dave McMenamin, please.
Hey, Frank, just a couple for you. One on Kuz. He started the second half in place of AD. How do you think he performed? And is that the direction he'll go in Game 5 if AD cannot play?
You think I'm going to give you the direction I'm going to go?
I don't, but you never know until you ask.
I'm not going to give you the direction I'm going to go in Game 5. And, Kuz played well. He missed a few plays here and there. But his energy is always a positive for us. His positivity and just activity and with how hard he plays is always a positive for us. So I was pleased with how he stepped up in AD's absence.
And this one's obviously a subjective type of question, but what was Anthony's mood like today when you were around him? How is he processing this groin injury?
I'd rather not get into that. I mean, these guys, they're great competitors. They're always going to say, I'm ignoring this. I'm going to be in there. You know what I mean? So, we'll just see that's what his mindset is, like any competitor. But, we'll see what the groin feels like tomorrow and we'll make a smart decision. But he's in good spirits.
Thanks, Frank.
All right, thanks, Frank.